Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 6. That episode is titled, You Dropped a Bomb on Me.
You dropped a bomb on me.
How did I know you were about to start singing? If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Couple we wrote the least about this week. I think we both realized that at the very end of the episode, neither one of us had written anything. Let's start out with Kirsten and Shaquille.
All
right. They went to have dance lessons. And she kept saying that their natural chemistry is going to be what holds this relationship together. As we got further into this episode, I was like, what natural chemistry? Y'all don't like each other, or you don't like him.
She was just, like, her claim to fame is, I wasn't attracted to him initially, but me getting to know him a little bit better, I'm starting to be attracted to him. Are you?
Essentially, he looks like a stick in the mud, but he not a stick in the mud. And I'm not saying that he looks like one. I'm saying that that's where she was going.
That's a hell of a description. A stick in the mud. Who thought of that?
He did tell her once they got finished with the dance lessons that they would have to come back there to do it again. I can't remember when he said, like on another so many years in the future.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. It'll still be there. Jamaica gone Jamaica.
Yeah. The cool thing about it is that they're thinking forward. She is too. She said, well, I'm going to hold you to that, you know. But she's still
like, I'm
trying to
come back with my friend.
She's still trying to convince herself that this was a good idea. Dang.
So during the episode, the guys had a meetup together and the ladies had a meetup together. And Shaquille and Kirsten met up after the respective
guys
gendered
and girls
meetups. And they brought up the Clint and Gina situation, which we haven't gotten to fully, but we'll just y'all saw it. You know what happened.
With some of y'all.
Clint essentially said that he likes more, or he dates more athletic and slender women. All the girls were offended by this.
Mm-hmm.
Shaquille said, well, I didn't really think that Clint said anything wrong. And I was like, I get his point. It's kind of like the whole, I don't usually vibe with genders.
Yeah. That was my question, because we haven't gotten there yet, like you said, but it was essentially a lick back.
Mm-hmm.
And what made it bad was it was in front of all of, like, everybody, instead of being a private conversation.
Like the ginger conversation was. I didn't know that the word ginger, I keep saying ginger was offensive.
We're not talking about them
No,
yet.
I'm saying that.
I didn't know that either.
And then
I was thinking it, like, because I said it last time, it was almost like I compared it to light skin versus dark skin.
You did, and I wasn't following.
But then, like, I don't think it's offensive.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I'm comparing the apples to apples, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that ginger is offensive. And I mean, if you find it offensive, I get it. But I don't think it is. And I also don't think that you're saying that I date people that are usually more slender is offensive.
I think it's not offensive because, anyway, we'll talk about it later.
Well, no, we're talking about them in particular, because he was like, he didn't see anything wrong with it.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with him.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
I mean, my wrong parts. Anyway, go ahead.
So he then breaks the bro code and it's like, Eris don't even think Jasmine cute.
Yeah, I wish he wouldn't have said that.
And it's like, we ain't talking about Eris and Jasmine. We got a lot to talk about with Eris and Jasmine in general. However, we ain't talking about Eris and Jasmine.
I really wish she wouldn't have said that. I was like, Oh, it's okay to talk about Clint and Gina because that's what y'all were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But you drag Eris in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he did not say a thing.
Nothing.
Like, about this situation.
Yeah.
So, then she says that Dominique has the issue with Mackinley about the sense of humor. And she was like, I think that you joke too much. And she was like, there's a time and a place for everything. And I was like, is your honeymoon not the time to joke around?
My response to that was, because she also asked him, could he take criticism?
Mm-hmm.
And my response to all was, nobody wants to be criticized, especially in there when they're in a place where they can relax and let their hair down and be themselves truly.
Right.
Like, it's when it becomes so serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you can't joke around. Like, yeah, it's times and places that you need that, warrants a more serious approach to it. But if you're essentially a jovial person or like you like to laugh a lot, I mean,
I think that she doesn't like being the subject of his jokes.
That too.
Because when they flash back, with him talking about her struggling through the airport with her bag, and she was like, why didn't my husband just take my bag from me when he saw me struggling? And it's like, you just didn't think that it was funny that he was like, you had a lot going on.
Because you did have a lot going on.
And I understand that because there are moments that you think things are really funny about me, and I'm like, shut up. But they don't know each other enough to be like, shut up.
Yeah.
She probably wanted to be like, I hit you in the eye. But they don't know each other, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that it's I think that it's not his joking too much. I don't think that she wants to be the subject of his jokes.
I just I get that part. But I think we all have different senses of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny to me,
it's very rarely funny to me.
It may not be funny to you, or what's funny to you, I may miss it.
Like this morning. Or yesterday.
Yeah, I missed it completely. I was like, it wasn't funny.
And it wasn't even joking on each other. It was just
an unfunny thing.
It was a mix. I chuckled. The other person I sent it to chuckled too. Anywho.
Because y'all are weird, I guess.
Anywho.
But I think, and I'm going to let it go after this. I think that's the thing that you have to develop is a sense of each other. You know? Like, I know when I can be, like the times that I can be serious with you, or the times that I can joke, or the times that my joke goes too far, and I just need to stop what I'm doing and pivot. But for them, they have to allow that opportunity to happen because you can't, she's more of a demanding person, and he's more of the, I'm a flow with it. But this is,
as far as what we've seen.
Yeah. I'm going to just flow with what we got. But I want to make her happy, but it's not a sense of her making him happy. Mm-hmm. I want to make her happy, and she's like, I want to be happy. And you making these jokes and stuff aren't making me happy. They're stupid, and you need to stop. Mm-hmm. But she don't want to change them. Allegedly. But and that's the thing. I'm like, man, just get to know him. That helps get to know him. If he jokes, but then here it is, he's putting on a research paper, and you see how he actually works. Because I hope she didn't just say it in the hotel. I hope she was like, well, let me go.
If she was allowed.
If she was allowed to go. But I'm pretty sure she was.
I can't see not being able to, but I don't know.
Right, because you can sit in.
The world has really strange precautions with COVID.
That's true, but at this point, But anyway, they just need to really she needs to understand that that's a part of him, and he needs to understand when it goes too far.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only going to happen with time.
Right.
So
next, Nicole and Chris.
Yeah.
So Nicole and Chris, when they sat out on the hammock and they talked about learning their relationship and building an emotional connection. And they talk about their previous relationships again. I feel like they are using their honeymoon to have fun, yes. But they're also like, tell me about your past, your hopes and your dreams, every scene.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm like, they're so forgettable. And my point was proven with Eris, because he's like, I don't even know the girl's name. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I can say one thing while everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But then once the real world hits, it's different. Mm-hmm. Because he brought up the when they went, was it kayaking or
whatever they did?
Whatever they did.
Yeah, they went kayaking.
They went kayaking, and he was talking about him being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll get off of work and want to sit down and just watch TV, and he didn't want her to think that's being lazy. But
that's one thing that I really wish we would get away from as a society. Like, rest is okay. It's okay to just do absolutely nothing.
But a lot of times we aren't in a position where people look at it as being okay.
I know. And a lot of the time it's because we equate being busy with being successful.
Yeah.
And everything isn't go, 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 go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to sit down and watch a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that for 2 or 3 hours in a day, because everybody needs a break.
No, I get that. But that was the thing that he brought up. He didn't want her to think that he was lazy. And she was like, no, I'm not going to think you're lazy. And I was like, wait till you see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wait till you experience it. And then you can be like, oh, this is, you know, you could be doing X, Y, and Z. But
there's going to be parts of every person that you're okay with some days, and other days you be like, oh, just gets on my nerves. And it's depending on usually what's going on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you have a whole bunch of stuff to do, and normally you would be laying on the couch with this person watching TV, but you got stuff to do and they don't, you're going to be like, why can't you just get up and do something?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that they're doing anything different than they've ever done before. It's just you got something to do. And so you want to project that onto them. It happens all the time.
You be projecting onto me?
No, you project onto me a lot.
No, I don't.
Sure. You talked about kayaking, and neither one of them knew what they were doing with kayaking. And I wrote down in my notes, Jamaica just be sending you out in the water.
They do go. They like your parent who sends you outside and like you outside.
They just
go outside, man.
Like literally, when Tommy went snorkeling in Jamaica, they were like, "You know how to swim?" He was like, "Yeah." They was like, "All right, you come."
Mm-hmm. They gave me 30 minutes of practice with the snorkel,
and that was only because nobody else was there.
Yeah, and then they was like, "All right, let's go."
Then
you ride out on a little boat into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and they stop, and then they be like, all right, jump out.
No, not even just that. When we were on the catamaran boat ride.
Oh, man.
That's
what that thing was called. I said the sunset ride.
You did. I left it alone. They had so much rum punch. They just dishing it out. Like every time somebody passed you, they be like, you want another one? You want another one?
Yes.
Then we get out in the middle of the ocean and stop. They're like, everybody jump off. We were all like, no, I am drunk.
I'm going to sit here and put my drunk eyes on and look at everybody in the water.
So, said all that to say, Jamaica just be sending you out in the water.
Yeah.
They talked about their pet peeves, slow moving people, dishes in the sink, and
She
then
called them SMPs.
he did. She
I was
did.
like, look at this girl.
And then he said he only does laundry once a month, and I was like,
only thing I was thinking about was how many pairs of drawers does this man have?
I know someone who, instead of doing laundry, used to just go buy new ones.
I just feel like
new t-shirts, new underwear.
That's a waste of money.
Obviously, it was a guy since I said new t-shirts.
I'm like, that's a waste of money. Just wash it. You can hand wash your drawers.
I think about if you're doing laundry once a month and you start adding kids into the equation.
That ain't gonna work.
Oh my God.
You do laundry just about every other day.
Man, sometimes it feels like every day.
I wish we could create something that folded clothes for you.
Yep. That would be nice. They have that machine that does,
but you got to put it. I'm talking about like you put it in the washing machine, you put it in the dryer, and when it comes out, it's folded.
Wouldn't it be nice if it went from the washer to the dryer for you and then folded? Like you don't have to do anything but just stick it in there.
Put the clothes in there, and then you can have the thing on your phone and be like, okay, let me set it for this time. Which they will make washer and dryers like that you can set it for a specific time.
So I wrote the lease about Gina and Clint of the next three couples, but you have Jasmine and Eris and Dominique and Mackinley. Who you want to go to next?
Let's finish with
I had nothing else for Nicole and Chris. That's why.
Yeah, that was it for me.
Okay.
We can go with I don't care, man. Just start talking.
All right, Dominique and Mackinley. So they wake up and talk about Dominique snoring and talking in her sleep and him dreaming that he was in some type of argument. They did decide that they were going to go horseback riding on the beach, and that turned into a group activity. Mm-hmm. He kept saying, yeah, I've been horseback riding before. And then when they got down there with the instructor, when people raised their hands about never having gone horseback riding, he raised his hand. I was like, she doesn't like that he jokes so much. But I guess I don't look at all of his things as like irritating jokes. Mm-hmm. But I guess I'm also not in the moment with him either. Because somebody saying, yeah, I've ridden horses before, I wouldn't think anything of it.
But the way I get her part. Like, it would irritate me that every time we talk about something or we do something, it's the
complaining side of it.
It's a complaint, or
I get that part.
You're gonna lie about it. Like you got to realize they've only known each other for 3 days at this point. I think
we got to day 7.
Mm-hmm. So they've only known each other for a week, and everything has been a complaint or a joke or a lie. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I think he's really truthful about is him trying to get in her pants or wanting to, mm-hmm. but not knowing how to approach it. And
the joking side of it doesn't bother me so much. The complaining side of it, I get, because if every time I say we're going to do something, you're like, nah, I don't want to do that.
My thing would be, I think the complaining side comes from a fear.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Yeah, I think it comes from a fear. And I think because he's a man, he can't be fearful of things. But men are afraid of things. Mm-hmm. They may be, she knows that he's not as adventurous, right? Mm-hmm. So those are conversations to have. Mm-hmm. Those are conversations to say, I'm not as adventurous. Mm-hmm. And the things that, like the horseback riding. If you're nervous about horseback riding, hey, I'm nervous. I've never done this before. Seems like it's fun. How is it? Mm-hmm. And go and take that approach to it and allow her to explain what she enjoys about it.
Or just shut up and go.
That too.
That could be the thing. Like the joke about, oh yeah, I used to ride horses. Like,
I was like, man, you went too far with that. Like, that would irritate me.
I guess I looked at it I never thought that he was being truthful about it. So I looked at it as a stupid joke. But I guess if that's happening every day, multiple times a day, by day 7, you'd be like, shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
But the complaining about it and then still doing it, you just be like, don't complain about it.
Just shut up and do it. Hirsch.
My auntie Gina says that all the time.
Does she?
Yes, Hirsch.
That's funny.
But it's just like when they got done horseback riding, he was like, I ain't really like it. I didn't enjoy it.
And that's okay.
And I was like, he was like, I just expected it to be some big grand thing. And I'm like, why did you expect it to be some big grand thing? It's literally exactly what she explained. We're riding horses in the water. You do it to say you did it.
Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, hey, that's okay. You didn't like it. Go past it. I'll probably never do it again. You know, next time we have the opportunity, I'll probably just chill and you can go do it. But right now, he's just trying to be, like, I get it. It's like a nervousness, joking thing when it comes to her because he's trying to be impressive to her or he's trying to impress her. And it's backfired. Like, I think one of the most mature things I've seen him on the show do is apologize to her. I thought that was very mature of him. And hopefully he does check his behavior going forward with her. Because it's funny to see us talking about him being immature about situations. And we assumed that it would be her. And we assumed that it was because of how young she is. But she's really taken a very mature approach to being married at first sight so far. And like, I could see how that could be a turn-on. They probably matched
them because they're like, yeah, he jokes a lot. She'll like that. She's youthful.
Yeah, that's probably what they say is.
They carved their initials in the tree. He apologized, and then he said that he doesn't want to complain. He just wants her to know that he's doing things for her. I get that part as well, but I also think that that can be taken too far too.
Yeah.
Because if every time you do something, you say, oh, I'm just doing this for you, after a while, that could be at the end, especially if it's like a honeymoon where every day is a brand new experience. If every day you tell me, oh, I'm just doing this for you, it's going to be like, did you brush your teeth for me too? Like, yeah. It gets to that point.
Well, I think he needs to pick out some things to do that he wants to do when they can do that. And that's the give and take of it, you know? He just has to relax. If he relaxes around her and not so, I have to be the macho man.
He's in the I'm trying to impress her stage when he is scared out of his mind about certain things. And those two things don't necessarily go together.
Right, because it's like the act of showing fear. Like and because he's the man of the couple, is like you can't show it, but you can. She's more adventurous than you. You like she goes fishing and you don't.
I don't even think of fishing as being adventurous.
I don't either.
And I'm a person who's never fished, but it's not because I won't.
Yeah, but it's more so of you don't like the idea of having to put a worm on a hook, you know, or a cricket on a hook or whatever you use it for your bait on a hook, and then getting the fish off the hook. Like she's gonna have to do all that for you, man. At one point, because
because she was like, am I going to have to bait your hook? And he was like, probably.
Yeah. You know, so it's like, she's going to have to show you how to fish. And when you think of somebody.
I just imagine myself doing this. It would be over dramatized. What? Baiting the hook.
Oh, yeah. Just put it on there.
No, I'm just talking about me in general.
I remember the first time that my granddad took me fishing. And I had the bait. Like, he showed me how to bait it. I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm killing this worm. And it's just squirming and stuff. And I dropped so much
just
of
what they do.
He was so mad at me.
I bet he was.
He was so mad.
I bet he was
so mad at me.
My granddad never let me go fishing because he said I was loud. He was like, you going to scare him away.
Look, I'm throwing rocks in the water.
Oh, you was tripping. He was just talking about me being loud.
Nah, I was tripping. We fishing. I'm throwing rocks in the water.
He probably said very calmly, stop.
He did. He said, you scaring the fish. I miss my granddaddy, man.
I miss your granddaddy too.
He was so cool, man. Coolest Tommy I know next to me.
That one up there is pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know him that well, though.
I said that to somebody. They was like, that's your baby. I was like, but we haven't been doing this very long.
I've only known him for 7 months.
We haven't been doing this that long.
I've known my granddad for 36 years.
We are still getting to know each other. Clint and Gina or Jasmine and Eris?
Let's go with it don't matter, man. I got something to say about both of them. The South got something to say.
All right, so I wrote least about Gina and Clint.
All right, let's do it.
So Gina starts out saying she feels like they're getting closer every day. I'm like, that backfired real fast.
Oh yeah.
They were talking and everything kept pivoting back to the salon or work or managing employees. And he says he wants her to work smarter and not harder. And he just felt, he was like, I know it's not just him, but the editing also is like every facet of this conversation goes back to what you do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. They got together with all the couples to sit around and talk. I didn't really understand. Was this the meetup to go get on the horses?
Yeah, because they did the horses after. She was mad when they did the horses.
Okay. So they got everybody together to meet up and they sat down and talked before they did the horseback riding. And that's when Clint made the...
when Clint put his foot in his mouth.
First off, they talked about the backs getting blown out.
Yeah, that was funny.
And they asked if anyone had seen each other naked. Kind of went around the circle. Kirsten said that she was hoping that the attraction grows. Gina said her best relationship was when she wasn't attracted to the guy initially and the attraction had to grow. So she was basically like, there's hope for y'all.
Yeah.
Clint put his foot in his mouth and he was like, he usually dates slender, athletic girls and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And Eris and it was in their talk. It wasn't in the confession. Yeah. He was like, he low key was like, my wife not cute.
They low key called each other ugly.
They did. That is what he said. So after Clint put his foot in his mouth, they did the horseback riding. So they were kind of separated. Yeah. Then the guys met up and the girls met up and they came back together at the ending and she told him that she was offended by the weight comment and he was like, well, I was offended by the ginger comment. It's an offensive term. And he said that he wasn't trying to be offensive about the weight. He was just like, this is what I traditionally have dated. Honestly, everybody got a preference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hers is not redheads, although she says she is a ginger specialist, I think it's what she called herself.
I didn't hear that part.
I don't know how their hair differs. She was like in the salon.
Yeah.
And then after that, they get into this like shouting match with each other. And she said it's best that they spend the rest of the honeymoon apart. I was like, how'd that work?
I don't know.
Oh, Alyssa and Chris did that because remember they got her own room. So
that was at the
honeymoon.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm not talking about them. I think
I'm just bringing up how it works.
No, I hear you. I think both of them were wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Clint in this situation was wrong because basically he should have, when she said, he couldn't say, well, I tend to like slender, more athletic women as a preference of mine when they were talking to each other, because it would look like
a dig.
Yeah. When they was privately talking. But it's worse because he said it when they were in a group. And it looks like, oh, you hit me with the ginger thing. I'm going to hit you with this one. This going to hurt worse. You know, type of deal. It's a tit for tat thing that it seems like he's doing. And it only got worse because nobody was able to say, my bad. I'm sorry for. You know, after nobody was able to, neither one of them were able to realize where the mistake had happened, because they're talking like, that was the question I had, like where, like outside of, you know, saying it in a group, where was he wrong at? Because we're talking about what I prefer or what I've dated before.
It would literally be like the equivalent of someone saying, oh, well, typically I date taller girls than you.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I'm 5'7". That's average height. And he like, nah, I do usually date girls that's like 5'10".
Yeah.
Does it change then?
It doesn't. He's just talking about the body shape.
The delivery of it is the questionable thing. Like the where was one part. And then it just seemed like he was just like, all right, you talked about me. Nobody talks about Clint.
Right. It was very a-hole-ish.
I'm going to kill him with this one.
It was very a-hole-ish, and it was very, I'm going to get you back ish. But if he was offended when she was talking about the preferred ginger thing, he should have said something then in the moment. Like, oh, that's offensive to me.
You're like, dang, you don't like people with red hair? That's rude.
Right. Like, figure out a way to have a deeper conversation about that, because then you're trying to move forward. And then you can bring up well, I typically date, you know, I think your body is fine, but I typically date skinnier women, you know, which is okay.
I wouldn't even use the word skinnier. Like slender.
He said slender.
Slender was an appropriate word to use. She was just like, he doesn't know how often I work out or how athletic I am. I was like, I get that. Again, it's his preference.
That's like somebody not trying to describe a stereotype about another race in front of the other race.
I have black friends.
Right.
Oh, I remember when I worked at the Limited, this lady came in one time. There was only 3 of us on the clock.
Yeah.
2 black girls and a Hispanic girl. Yeah. And she was like, someone else was helping me. No, it was 2 black girls and a white girl.
Yeah.
It was like, there was another person helping me. And we were like, what does she look like? She was like, oh, she's short, has dark hair. It was about right here. All 3 of us had short, black hair about here. My hair was straightened at the time. So we're like, okay, could you give me something else about it? Like, she was doing all of these generalizations.
And she could have said she was a black girl or she was a white girl.
If she literally would have said she was the black girl or the white girl, would have completely resolved it. There's only 2 other people here. So if you would have said black, white, I would have known exactly who you were talking about.
That's hilarious.
And so we're all like, finally, I was just like, everybody come up here. Because there was nobody else in the store. Like, both of them were in the back. They both came with friends. She was like, oh, it's her. I was like, oh, the black girl? She was like, yes, the African-American young lady. I was like, it's okay to describe her as black. She's black. I'm black. But we're not offended.
That's how Clint was. That's how I felt like Clint was. And then he was like, well, here we go. You know, type of deal. But I just, you know, it's offensive for the women to hear it, because, which I don't get, you know, like why women are so into body shape and body shaming and stuff like that. I think people need to be the healthiest and happiest they can be, but be satisfied with your body. And if you're not satisfied with it, Work on it.
I don't think that she's not satisfied with her body.
I'm be 100% 100 with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Gina is beautiful. I think she has a nice body. I think all the women on there have a nice body outside of Nicole. Now, my issue with Nicole is her shoulders. She looks like
she'll whoop your ass.
No, not me. But she has shoulders like me. Like they're like anyway. But that's not my problem to have.
Obviously.
You know. But I think they're all
from
beautiful.
A wide-shouldered family.
Do you?
Yep.
Yeah. But I think they're beautiful and everything like that. And I don't your body is your body.
So it's not Nicole's body, it's her shoulders.
Yeah, it's her shoulder. Every time I look at her, I'll be like, hey, you got them weird shoulders. You got man shoulders, man. That's what it is.
It's wide.
She got a wide back. That's all I got for you. But I just think Clint should have. I don't know how Clint gets out of that conversation without being offensive. Out talking about his preference, other than saying, "Well, she's not the typical people I date or type of person I date." Pick another attribute you don't date.
I really dislike the fact that we're not allowed to have preferences. But I also am not a person that goes around verbalizing what I don't like about people that don't matter in my day.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. I'm trying to see if that train of thought makes sense.
No, I think just thinking about Clint's point of view, he's already, like, I think they already have villainized him at this point. Like, he's the villain. Right now. But I think before that conversation, he was already villainized by the guys, you know, because Clint is this guy who's part narcissist, and he's very much into his looks and himself, and, you know, he would be what one is considered a pretty boy, a rough and rugged pretty boy, you know.
I didn't know that was a thing, but okay.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like now you're in this group and you're talking about the body size, and as Dominique said, you got all these curvy women here, and you basically said that he didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything about them.
Well, my thing is if you're sitting in a room and somebody says, I don't like XYZ, but everybody in the room fits the stereotype or the description, not stereotype, the description, you're going to be looking at him like, bro, you ain't all that either.
I'm just saying, like, in the context of what they were talking about, it was just like, I don't get the issue, but, you know, I digress.
I'd be like, yeah, mama.
They couldn't get past it.
Could not get past it. So last but not least, I think we finished them out. Yeah. Last but not least is Jasmine and Eris. So we open back up on the episode with her in the confessional worrying about him never falling in love. I'm like, that's basically the guys that we've seen on this show that have said they've never been in love still weren't in love at the end. Well, no, Ryan told he loved her and then they got divorced.
Yeah, he said that so for dramatics.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
So then they go and they get a massage on the beach. And she told him don't drop any more bombs on her. And he was like, I didn't think that was a bomb. I was like, I wouldn't consider it a bomb. Like, it's not something that's going to blow up the whole marriage. Like, I got a baby on the way. It's not that.
Yeah, that was more so what I was thinking. I was like, what if he was like, well, I got one more. There's a baby involved with this. Yeah.
I found out this baby wasn't mine, but I still be taking care of it, though. And they're going to be coming over to the house a lot. Yeah. Like, stuff like that. Man, that's something you got to tell me in the paperwork.
Be like, I'm missing my third right toe. That's not a real bomb, but it's like, it's something to talk about. What happened?
Yeah, so they move on to, like, after their couples massage, she then gives him a massage. And she said this is the most touching they've done since they've met each other. And he said that this is a very comfortable pace to be going at. She feels like he's being sarcastic about it being a comfortable pace. I wouldn't have used the word sarcasm, but I definitely was like, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Mm-hmm.
Because just the night before, you was asking what's her favorite sexual position, and now you're like, the pace is comfortable.
She had to have done something that turned him off, because he's a person that, and he said he would, like, if you do something, I'm quick to be like, nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he knows he's in this process for 8 weeks. Like, the thing about it is they focus so much on falling in love, 8 weeks, this and that, but don't focus enough on knowing who the person is. Like, it could be her eating bacon
mm-hmm.
could be the thing that's like turning him off about her, because like we see in the episode, he thinks she's beautiful, and I wonder, is it because she won beauty pageants, she's the standard of beauty, and that's what he's going off of, or if he really thinks that she's cute.
I think personally that it's I find you attractive, but you're not my type.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw you and I would describe you to somebody, I would be like, oh, she's pretty. But I wouldn't be like, she fine.
And that's the thing too.
I think it's that.
Yeah. I think what they have to kind of like look at the situation is, your type hadn't been working for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
So eliminate my type, right?
Yeah. Like, I look at you. I don't think that you have a type.
I ain't got no type.
Based on your previous relationships.
Yeah.
The people that I have seen or met or even know, I'm like, man, you put all of us together, you would be like, he dated all of them? Like, there's no like, don't do that. There's no like, you know how some guys are like, she got to look like this, and it's like every girl looks like this.
Yeah.
You don't have that, right?
Right.
And so I'm wondering, does he have that? Mm-mm. And she just doesn't fit that? Because he was saying like he likes his girls thicker than Jasmine. Jasmine is very thin to me.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it takes her out of the she's attractive category. Yeah. I think that it just takes her out of the, if I saw her at the club, I'd try to holler category.
Yeah. And it's like, man, you have to eliminate that, especially going on here, because you don't know what you're going to get. They always talk about the questionnaire and stuff like that. I'd be like, man, say exactly what you want. It's almost like create a player.
I'm looking for a dime.
That's top of the line. Cute face, thin waist, and a big behind.
I don't know that you could request that specifically.
Man, I feel like you should be able to say, hey, I like women that got a big old booty. Or she got big boobs. They gave Mac a lady with big boobs.
I wonder, did he write that?
I wonder that too.
Specifically.
Or did he say, hey, I like big boobs? But I feel like once you eliminate that stereotype of my type, right? What I typically date, you remove a lot of the issues that you're looking at with your spouse in this show, because it's not the looks that you're like, you have to find that person attractive, right? Whatever it is that you find attractive, you have to find it. But you have to realize 20 years from now, that's not going to look the same. It's the person is what you're looking for. It's the person that you're growing with, that you really have to realize and hang on to. So you have to get to know this person. And you can't live in a type. Right. You can't live in, well, I typically like women that have all 5 of their fingers or 4 fingers and a thumb on both hands. Or, you like, I don't want a girl that got a 6th finger.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to edit this so much. Take out all the ridiculous things.
It's just, it's like, okay, that's a type and that's a preference or whatnot, which is okay, but eliminate that. Mm-hmm. Do you like this person for who she is or who he is and what he does, what he brings to your life, how he enhances you? Oh, you don't know him. What do you like about him so far? Can you deep dive into that? Mm-hmm. I think she needs to stop asking him about love and finding love, but just truly know who this person is and do it that way, because she said, I fall in love easily. Mm-hmm. What is it that you're falling in love with? Because just as easy as you're falling in love could be as easy as you fall out of love.
I've never thought about, like, is it easy to fall in love? That's never been on my list of things to think about.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a loving person. I tell my friends all the time, hey, I love you guys.
But that's not in love.
I tell you every day I love you, and I'm in love with you. I tell my babies I love them. Tell my mom I love her. Tell your mom I love her. But it's like, that's not it. It's my love for you guys are all different, but it's not a thing that I have to express. It's a thing that I want you to know just in case, but my expression of our relationship is I enjoy you. Mm-hmm. You enjoy me. You bring much more to me than just me saying I love you or being in love and stuff like that. And that's what I feel like these two have to figure out with each other. I also think Eris, the reason why I like Eris is because he was like, when him and Jasmine were talking about Clint and Gina, he was like, they low-key called each other ugly.
He said they low-key called each other ugly in a very nice way.
Right. And he was like, I don't remember the girl's name, but she was talking about Nicole, mm-hmm. saying day 2 they was having sex, but now she on this. I was like, that's me and you talking about the crew.
And she said that's basically just like you with that conversation. You was talking about with the guys, you finna blow some backs out. Mm-hmm. And then now we ain't touching.
Yeah.
We ain't doing nothing. She was like, we cuddle, but it's like
he gonna turn her on and she trying to give it up. And he like, nah, I'm straight. Which is weird to me.
What's weird to you?
Well, I get what he's trying to say, but I feel like it's a scapegoat. He's saying usually in my other relationships, we jump right into sex. And I don't want to do that. Ideally, I get that. If you can build on something and the sex comes and it's like, all right, cool, Mm-hmm. But it's not a point of, it's not the first thing out the gate. It's mentally, I'm falling for you and enjoying your company. And then here it is, the cherry. Mm-hmm. I get that, but I just feel like it's not genuine,
I could see that.
It's almost like he's like, I don't want to do it with you, I don't want to do it.
What more do you want from me? I think that they gotta have a discussion to like explain that, because I don't know. Now again, we're only seeing parts of their day. I don't know that she's done anything to let him know that she is ready, willing, and able. Or I shouldn't say able.
Her keep talking about, man, this the most touching we're gonna did. All right, I'm gonna start touching your butt.
Okay. I don't know how much more she can do or what would help signal to him, or if he's just made up in his mind that this isn't going to happen either now or ever. And he's running with that emotion, because sometimes that's an easy thing to do, is you make it up in your mind that this isn't going to happen. And no matter what happens, this is not going to happen. So he might be there.
I wonder what Pastor Kyle, when, he always asks, have y'all had sex yet? Mm-hmm. I wonder how that conversation is going to go.
She's going to be like, touch me.
Right? But I don't want to. No.
You got anything else for them?
No, man.
You got a question for this week?
How could Clint fix that situation? No.
Can he?
I don't think he can fix that situation. But how does Clint say what he's trying to say without being offensive?
Okay, it's a good one. How can Clint say, how could he have expressed his preference in a better way?
Yeah.
That's it? That's what you're trying to ask? Yeah. Okay. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and comment down below your answer to
like the video.
Oh, yeah, that too. Comment down below and let us know how Clint could have better expressed his preference in front of the group.
Right. That's important.
So we have to put that keyword
in front of the group.
In front of the group.
Join us tomorrow morning for the coffee break.
Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m.
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Also, we're going to open up a shop. We're going to have to do it. My birthday's coming up, so celebrate this weekend.
Those two things are completely unrelated.
Right. And just consume all our content, man, because I'm having fun making it. I assume she's having fun making it. And
I'm losing sleep making it.
So. I'm enjoying you guys. So continue to comment. And this week, I'm gonna respond to the comments so you can get my...
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to do it this week. I do it every now and again. So, okay. But yeah, that's all I got, man. No more announcements.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Peace.